most of us, our jobs keep us safe indoors, but there are plenty of people whose office space is actually set in the midst of where people are driving on the roads. We are with Mark Nagy today with TDOT. And Mark, this is a week all about bringing awareness and reminding people how important it is to be safe when you see those workers.
Sure. So National Work Zone Awareness Week is just as the name says. You know, we're trying to promote awareness to let folks know that each and every time that they drive through a work zone, that they need to use extreme caution, because quite often our workers, our contract workers, are doing these jobs only a couple of feet from oncoming traffic, and that is extremely dangerous work that they're doing each and every day.
And I know that a lot of times, you know, you have your flashing lights out there, they're wearing their bright colors, but people who are distracted, I mean, it may be life or death, really. So what do people need to keep in mind?
Well, we see far too often that people are still texting and driving, and that hands-free law is there for a reason. Sometimes we think, okay, I can just check my phone for a couple of seconds, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal if you're going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, even faster, because you're not able to then bring your car to a stop or to slow it down in time. And we've seen situations like that, unfortunately, have very dire circumstances.
And there is a display along the side of one of our roadways here in the Knoxville area that sort of represents that grim number, that grim reality. Tell us about where that is, what it is, all of that.
So that's on I-640 eastbound. There's 113 barrels set up, and that is for the 113 TDOT workers who have died in the line of duty. Now, that's only since records began being kept in the late 1940s. So obviously that number is more than 113. And we hope if people drive by there, that's near the Western Avenue exit. Henley Bridge was lit up on Monday night. So we're doing everything we can, get that orange color out there, and maybe people can slow down a little bit every time they go through a work zone.
Yeah, people in Knoxville especially, we all have plenty of orange.
A little bit.
So you all were encouraging people to even wear orange this week.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have some orange in their wardrobe, so anything we can do to kind of, you know, create awareness for this situation.
And even though this is the national week for it, we need to keep this top of mind all year, every day, every time we're behind the wheel.
Even last year in 2025, there were over 2,400 work zone crashes in the state of Tennessee, and there were 16 fatalities. And I think that, you know, if you see the orange cones and barrels, you see the flashing lights, remember there's litter pickup crews, pothole patching crews, local law enforcement, emergency personnel, so many folks that are working on our roadways, and we want to keep them safe.
Definitely. So please take Mark's words of reminders and advice to heart. Remember that when you're behind the wheel. You mentioned a word there to Mark as we transition into our next part. You said potholes and resurfacing. Some big work has officially started on a major roadway through Knoxville.
So this is road construction season. It's really getting underway, and over the last weekend we saw work begin on I-275 in Knox County. That was a corridor that had a lot of potholes. We had gotten those reports, and we've got a major resurfacing project that is now underway, and that milling, that paving is going to take place nightly, and it's going to go all the way until the fall.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, is how long does this happen? Well, I know a lot of times TDOT tries to do that work at night. Sometimes it does happen during the day too.
Yeah, every once in a while it is, but keep in mind when you have such high traffic volumes, it's really not that easy to get out there during the day. You know, we have over 200,000 vehicles per day that go through downtown Knoxville, so we try to get a lot of that work done at night.
And I know that we haven't had a lot of rain, so that's probably honestly been good for your crews.
No, it certainly is. When you get a lot of rain and freezing and thawing, that's the perfect recipe for potholes. So we haven't gotten that much rain, so we haven't had as many potholes pop up over the past couple of weeks. And again, this is when you're going to see our crews and our contractors out there on the roadways a lot over the next few weeks and months.
All right, Mark, well, thank you so much for joining us today, giving us those good reminders and the updates on what's happening on our roadways here. We want to go ahead and send